So welcome back. In that lessons we have to be revision today. The name of the lesson is On to the Summit. We reach the top. Tenzing Norgay was the Nepalese Indian Sherpa mountaineer. He reached the summit the Mount Everest along with Edmund Hillary on 29th May 1953. They were the first two individuals known to be reach the summit. This is the brief essay where Tenzing described the climb to the top. So the brainstorming, the we have the some questions, and that questions we discuss here. Summarize to the class in your own words in high risky and dangerous journey to the Tenzing and Hillary from the base to the top of Mount Everest. Tenzing आणि हिलरी यांच्या माउंट एव्हरेस्टच्या पायापासून तर कळसापर्यंत धोकादायक व भयंकर प्रवास तुमच्या स्वतःच्या शब्दात सारांश रूपात लिहा. So answer, Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Henry created the history of being the first two individuals to reach the summit Mount Everest. This was accomplished on 29th May 1953. It was a tough and challenging climb to Tenzing wanted to get the top even if he died. Hillary and the alternate in the taking the lead. The man going to be lead cuts and step breaks the way. The anchor was fully and difficult job. Both the climb up and climb down. They often went over dangerous ground and climbing took all their attention. There were the steep rock. They had bulky equipments and oxygen masks to carry. They could not even quench their thirst after the climb as the water and their content had frozen in. The summit was small and only the 2 and 3 people could stand there. There was snow on northern side, rock on the southern side, and snow rock on the west. The climb down and was more difficult and dangerous than the climb up. If you were not cautious and slipped, you would go into the Kongsung glaciers and there would not be a trace left of here. That was the summarizing of the lesson. Complete the web. Highlight the feeling emotions of Tenzing after reaching summit. Tenzing feelings emotion after reaching summit. शिखरावर पोचल्यावर तेंजिंग नॉर्गेचे व्यक्त झालेल्या भावना अधोरेखित करणारे पूर्ण जाळे करा. So here feelings of gratitude to God, love for his family, feeling of patriotism. So that's the we have to be uses there. The reaching their emotions. So glance through the text and again and explain the quality of Tenzing Norgay's peak line that show his unique quality. One is done for you. Quality and lines. Patriotic. I told the Colonel Hunt and that I was carrying the Indian flag with me and I would like to be on the top with other flag. The determination I was to get to the top even if I die. Discipline, I had to ask the Colonel Hunt's permission in his capacity as a leader of the expeditions. Preservation, this was a slow and difficult courage. It was not afraid to die that day. Write and down the significance of the following contents on the top summit. So there's the scarf, red scarf, helios, kerosene flavor teas, ice axe and anchors. So we discuss here Husher. So there the word Husher means questions. Of course, I look the time climbing down, but need more Husher. When I reached the camp night, and the first thought was, thank God we have been spared an accident. If would up now there been no accident, I hope that will be none in future. I will always be prayer to God had he had saved me. So that is very cautious about while climbing up and climbing down. So remaining you will be do by your own. So add the suitable suffix tion, and prefix an lm2. The words given below in one is done for you. Absolutely, fulfill, unfulfilled, fulfilled, fulfillment, determine, determinations. So that's the way you have to be complete that suffix and prefix added before the word, that is prefix, added after the word, that is suffix, and that is a topic that you done by your own. So by filling appropriate letters in the blank space, you will get the past participle forms it, and using the words adjective in your own words, it is done for you. Sensed. The word sense, word signed, SIGNED. Advocate took the signed documents to the court. PZE means prized. Simos Hawk and known that her prized possessions had been stolen. So that's the way you have to be make that words on that particular forms. Then another word FTENE means flattened. A flattened gas indicate that a large animal had been sleeping there. So that one you will be do by your own. Spot the error. One is done for you. I was not afraid to die that day. Sentence correct. I was not afraid to die that day. So in that sentence, so here instead of for you just do here. Tenzing and Hillary made in the past at the office of PM Nepal. Answer. Tenzing and Hillary made an pact at the office of Prime Minister Nepal. That word short form became writing in full form Prime Minister. So I have to bring my axe down with me. Instead of has, there is a needed had, past tense. Tenzing have spent at night the camp 8. Tenzing had spent instead of had spent a night at camp 8. I and Hillary were in no mood of talking. Hillary and I in not mood for talking. So that is the particular way. And that remaining the pact was signed by from the Tenzing and Hillary. The pact was signed by Tenzing and Hillary. That is the way you have to read a transport of the error from that sentences. Now let us begin with the lesson. The call of the soil, a scent of rice. This is the text about lesson about a good variety of traditional rice grows as against hybrid used in other farms. He pursued the matter till the ultimately reached his goal, and the writer propagates organic farming to ensure that the land is not ravaged in lead batten the farms trying to make a living out of organism. Brainstormings. Read the extract and state whether the following statements are true and or false. Correct the false statement. Growing is abundant is more important than the quality of the crops. That became false. The author wanted to grow the desi variety of rice. True. The author did not succeed in finding Kasbai. False. Author has to be finding the succeed in Kasbai rice. The aroma of the desi rice would be spread around the village. True. New hybrid crops have the great appetite for chemicals. True. The author is an example of reverse migration. True. So make complete the flow chart. Consider this is an example of note making. Discovered the Kasbai rice. April 2005 started his search for Kasbai rice. Visited in the village nearby. Visited the government agriculture offices and visited to Adivasi Mahan Mandal at Kasa. Met Dehu and ex Sarpanch of the villages and brought the Kasbai rice from the Adivasi women in the remote area. So that is the particular kind of the discovery of Kasbai rice you will see in this lesson. Read the text and fill in the blanks. One is done for you. The author wanted to grow organic mungs. Murudada wanted to spray the dash on the mungs crop organic some pesticides. Baban's fathers and some elders mentioned the name of Kasbai. Hybrids need more water, said Devhanda. The author brought 10 kilos of rice from the Adivasis women who live in remote valleys. So that's you have to be that completed particular fill in the blanks in examination also. Say write and say he grow an awayful lot of monk. Expand the word awayful in this particular in the sentence. So remaining that A2 you will be do by your own. So a lot of monk, awayful lot of monks. So writer has to be started with that planting the monks in this field. Morudada has to be suggested that in the best season to have to be growing that monks. So away full or he has to be grown means particularly that produce a lot of monks at that times. So the writer thought that we have to be make away full of the monks from this field and he had to be pursued to planting the different variety of the rice also. So now describe if I have the we discuss describe in about 150 words in experience similar to the writers when pursue something to reach our goals. तुम्ही एखाद्या गोष्टीत पाठपुरावा केला तुमचे ध्येय गाठलेत अशा लेखकासारख्या असलेल्या अनुभव सुमारे 150 शब्दात वर्णन करा. Some years back I was having a problem with my eyes and reached glasses and a number of increased day by day. Suddenly I reached an amazing magazine about the ophthalmologist who has regular eyes exercise and could bring down a number. Only a doctor's surname was given an article. I looked up and net but could not find in a particular doctor. I telephoned the magazine and made the inquiry about the doctors and they did not know. I asked them about the reporter who is interviewed the doctor. Could I contact him? Initially they refused, but I could not give up. The phone I repeatedly, finally hearing the plea in the voice. They gave me a contact number and the doctor's names and address and reporter and mailed me mine. There was the next day. Fortunately the doctor was the right one. I had reached my goal and new numbers had decreased dramatically after the month and exercise. So that is why you have to be particularly write down on 150 words experience of yours and reaching your goal. Write a blog about 150 words and organic farmings. सेंद्रिय शेती 100 ते 150 शब्दात एक ब्लॉग लिहा. गिव्ह द बिग हेडलाईन फॉर गो ऑर्गॅनिक सेव्ह अवर प्लॅनेट. तर बिग हेडलाईन द्यायची आणि बाजूला ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगचं शेतीचं एक चित्र तिथे लिहायचं. आन्सर Yes, I know organic farming presents many challenges in may not to be as profitable as least, but at least we will be live and healthy to enjoy the products. We will have the water to drink. We will not have to deal with the crops that requires more and more waters, pesticide in each years, and a hand which gobbles up fertilizer. We will not have the newest incurable disease. The quality of our life will improve. You and those of my friend who eat meals and poultry products, they will not have to worry about growing hormones and antibiotics injected in the livestock, which will affect them through the meats and consumed. Hulls and soil degradations and erosions. Well, that too may be minimum by organic farming. And finally, don't we have the responsibility of our future generation to hand over the healthy and thriving the planet instead of the earth riddles with the problems. So that is the way you have to be. That's why you can write down the blog writing about 150 words. So write down a short paragraph in about 120 words and to be used the counter view for the following topics. Buy a biggest cloth for your coats. पुढील विषयावर प्रतिवाद म्हणून वापरा करता सुमारे 120 शब्दात एक परिच्छेद लिहायचा. तुमच्या कोटाकरता मोठे कापड विकत घ्या. We cannot survive by the dictums cut your coat according to your coat in today's world. In the modern world, we should think big. Think of interesting your income instead of reducing your needs. We cannot deny ourselves what we new world offers us. So, in writing the answers, cut your coat according to your clothes. So that is give the headline. Greed and avarice is the insatiable longing the material gains. It could be a desire for good food, money, status, and power. It is never ending desire that requires possess more than one needs, and thinking increasing one's income is always going to be a going process, never ending and never satisfied. What is the point of living a life where one is never content, never happy? The new world offers the plethora of things. However, it is our choice what we accepting and what is rejected. There are enough examples around us and people buying the biggest clothes and ending up in the debtors. Prisoners, no, we say the thinking big in terms humans value and not about the latest model of the iPhone. This is bottom line because content with what you have, whatever the modern world may have to offer. So that is the way you can write down the view counter view from in your examinations also.